Hello everyone and welcome for joining today's cryptocurrencies update. We are still mostly range bound for most cryptos except the one bull in the room, Luna, and we have signs of life and hope. When all hope is lost, it is always darkest just before the dawn. Let's have a look at the charts, shall we? We have a lot to cover, so let's start here with Avalanche. Avalanche, I'm still working on the Elliott wave count. There are a few things that are not yet lining up that I need to figure out as we have some overlappies going on, but I'll figure it out. So for now, I want to focus on the trend here. And that is, as you can see, if I'm going to zoom in, that we have a struggling candle here. We're still below pretty much all the moving averages. We dropped below the 200-day moving averages 4 or 5 days ago and are now below the cloud. So we all know what that means. Once we're below the cloud, it is struggling time. Ever since we broke below the cloud in early 2022, it's not been much of a party, more of an overlapping price action, which still suggests it's corrective. So here we have a trend line, as you can see in black, that if it holds, can form a triangle. All right, I'll show you the triangle, very simple. So we have to start here, and then we have it here, and we have it here. So this is a nice triangular type of pattern. If this triangle works and we get a breakout, we can do a very simple symmetry, and that is the width of the triangle from where it breaks out. Okay, so that brings us to potentially 125, which is a retest of course, this level here. You see that? We have picture perfect overlap. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a breakout, we're going to retest those highs. Then I will do the Elliott wave count in more detail, but for now we're stuck in this what appears to be a triangular pattern. So support is, I should do that actually in green, is here at about $1.70, right? And I told you that if we break below it, we can visit the 45-ish. Okay, so 45-ish. Based on pure simple symmetry, that is the width of where we are there. But it's holding for now. Conversely, of course, we are at resistance, which is at around 90 bucks. All right, so we have resistance at 90 bucks. And then, of course, we have the opposite. If we break above 90, right, break above 90, we're going to go the other direction in about equal length, which should bring us to about, I would say, 110-ish. Okay, 110-ish. It's not 110-ish, but 110-ish. 110-ish. So that there we have some nice upside targets. 125-ish to 110-ish to the upside and to the downside. So I can't tell you just yet because we're range bound in this what appears to be for now a triangular pattern. So we'll have to wait for this triangle to play out. We're simply stuck between a rock and a hard place. But bulls, be aware you are below the moving averages. So for now, the pressure is to the downside. So please keep that in mind. Okay, the pressure is to the downside. We need to see these breakouts. Then we can move nicely along. So, there it's actually 127.5. Make it 127.5. Let's give the bull some credit. There we go. Ooh, see that? How we retest those levels? See that here? It is all not coincidence. This is really, really nice. What a fantastic rally that would be. Okay, always be aware of fake breakouts. Okay, just because we get a breakout doesn't mean it will hold. Just because we had a breakout here and here, but now we are establishing this pattern. So that is where I'm going to leave it at for Avalanche right now. It needs to get back above the 200-day for starters. Very simple. Okay, so here we have Binance Coin. Binance Coin, is it now finally breaking out and not doing a fake breakout like we had last week? Let's hope so. Can't yet be too certain, but it seems like we're turning this resistance into support. So that's another step in the right direction, but we're still range bound, okay? We're still range bound, so that is very important to know. There is yet, as of yet, no real clear winner other than that we might start to finally break below this trend line, or above, sorry, not above, okay? So, So let's keep that in mind, that we might finally have this breakout. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign, right? That we have that breakout, but it needs to hold, and we need to see continuation back above 430. Okay, and if we get above 430, then we can target 500 based on simple symmetry. Let's look at the trend in Binance Coin. It has work to do. Clearly, we are below the cloud, but it is trying to get back above the 10-day, the 20-day, and even the 50-day. So it's trying, but we have a lot of work to do. But it's getting increasingly green, the traffic light. So that is good. That is really good. We cannot move higher unless the traffic light is at a go. So first step first is, of course, above the 50-day moving average. That level has been achieved. Then above 410. And eventually I want to see price move above the 200-day moving average, of course. If we get above all the moving averages and the cloud, then we are in a full-on bull market. All right. So these are the hurdles to take. These are the hurdles to take before we can turn more bullish. We do have plenty of positive divergence going on. So it is as good as it gets for the bulls. More money flowing in at essentially lower prices. MACD is turning upwards, just like we did here between June and July. See that? Here, all this, similar. That doesn't mean it's going to transpire the same way, but we'll have to monitor it diligently. And if it does, it should be a very nice bull run with, of course, these levels to watch. Also here, look at the RSI 14. It means that as price goes lower, the strength of the decline is precipitating. It's just getting less and less strong, the decline. Buying pressure is increasing. You can really make a nice move with your hands when it goes from down back to up. So this is good. This is as good as it gets. The bulls need to capitalize on it. So cautiously optimistic on that one. Still range bound. We know where we go on the breakouts. That brings me to Bitcoin. Okay. Some people have told me my work is useless because I just babble about nothing. And then I thought, well, have you used any of these trading IDs? Buy over the simple moving averages, use the MACD, full stochastic, none of it. Okay, well, then you can listen to all my babbling all you want, but you haven't applied these trading IDs which are on the screen every single time. Okay, so you don't have to listen to a babble, just apply these ones. All right, this is such a giveaway of the secret sauce. It is not funny anymore. But from a trend perspective, there will, of course, be a lot of whipsawing. And we know the trend right now is not so great. Even with today's rally, we're still inside the cloud. This is the red arrow ahead. We need to get above it. Maybe finally, third time is the charm. Traffic light is trying to turn full on green. We're getting close, but close is no cigar. Again, we do have all this positive divergence going on. I would say that really now needs to start cracking. Okay, we need to start seeing all this finally take hold. So positively positive, so to say. Here is the bigger picture count. Did we maybe experience a failed fifth of a C wave? We got awfully close. It is possible. Regardless, we need to break above 44,000 to target 54,000, right? Loud and clear. We've been in this box between 34,000 and 44,000. Simple symmetry will tell us we're going to break higher. If that is the case, when we start breaking higher, please remember the speedometer. It will go from breaking to starting to go to accelerating, because then also the long-term trend on a year-to-date basis, each arrow is 1 year, will turn green. Okay. If the year-to-date trend, or actually the annual trend, so to say, which of course simply moves forward every single tick of the day, the new day, gets more and more green, then we know the trend is starting to change and we have more positive price action. Let's have a look here at very simple support resistance levels on a symmetry basis. I have had these boxes for many months. I kind of took them off the table and we're back at it again, because you can see how we're holding 35,500 on a closing basis. 40,500. That was the symmetry box. We broke below it, we reached it, and now it seems like we're going to target 45,500, somewhere around there, again, with this break back above. See what a whipsawing mess this was. Down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves along the 40,500 level. Crazy. All right. Honestly, it's crazy. When we were here in 2022, early January, I had no idea this would happen. Right. This is moves that you cannot predict, but once they are on the chart, we can start to apply some Elliott wave. All right. So Monday's update, I really had nothing new to say other than, actually where I wrote in the email, let's hope we're going to get some price action soon. And I think our prayers were heard. And look where we have now. So from an Elliott wave perspective, let's try to make some sense out of this sideways madness we've had for soon 2.5 months. Looks like we might have a wave A, a wave B, and A, B, C. This is my preferred count for now. Everything is threes. We already knew on February 11, with a 3-wave move higher, the future would not become any easier. And we got 3 waves lower. And then I think we got 3 waves higher. And then it looks like, again, 3 waves lower, just A, B, C on pure closing basis. And we should now then hopefully move in another 3-wave fashion higher, potentially 5 if this is some sort of diagonal. All right, then we're going to use standard Fibonacci levels. This is all based on we need to hold this week's low. All right, very simple, around 37,070. This level needs to hold. If we can hold it, and today's candle so far is good, but we've been burned once, twice before, so we don't want to get burned again. If this holds and we can break out, especially above the 47,000 level, let's look here. Then we should target around 54,000. All right, on the intermediate C in red time wave degree. Then we're going to look at the ABC in black, the major degree levels, and see if we can find some nice overlap. As you can see, the 161.8 of major A, measured from major B, targets 55,278, which gets very close to the 161.8. It's hard to see here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can actually see it a little better. There, we're going to zoom in more. 161.8, 161.8. Fantastic Fib confluence at the 61.8% retrace. So this is starting to look good that we can target this. I like it when 3 different Fibonacci levels of 3 different wave degrees. This is the retrace of a primary wave. This is the wave extension of a major wave and the wave extension of intermediate wave, all target to the same level. So that is still possible, and we can of course extend. These are the extension boxes that are very normal. So far, so good. This is a good candle to support this, for now, hypothetical wave count, which will be confirmed if we break above 47,000. Okay, 47,000 is the cutoff. I think then we have a very nice Fibonacci target for around 55,000 plus minus a couple of hundred. That should then finally complete our ABC. Again, this just shows you how utterly complex B waves can be. All right, there's nothing easy about B waves. So just going long B waves for a bounce, wow, you got to have a strong stomach. As long as we're holding Monday's low, this week's low, 37,070, somewhere around there, this can move higher in this fashion. It has the setup for it. Now the market needs to decide to move through this door by breaking over 47,000. All right, moving on to Ethereum. How are we doing in the land of Ether? The land of Ether is trying to break above the moving averages, but it still has, of course, a lot of work to do. So here, still the trend is down. So we can't get too positive yet because we're still making lower lows and lower highs. So please keep that in mind. Nothing to write home about from a trend perspective, nothing at all. Now, if I apply the same logic we had for Bitcoin to Ethereum, assume we had wave A, we had wave B, and are now at wave C. Let's look at where we should expect this wave C of B to top, okay? Because it's all ABCs. This is 3 waves higher, in my own opinion, 3 waves lower, 3 waves higher, A, B, C, 3 waves lower. It's all 3 waves. Once the market decided to do only 3 waves up here, February 11th, it opened up a can of ugly worms. But it is what it is. And hopefully, if we can break above resistance here at around 27.25, as you can clearly see, we're not even above it, then we can target 31.75 to 36.23, or as high as 32, 41.33. So these are the red ones, is the intermediate waves, and the green ones are the minor waves of the intermediate C wave, C of P. Nice overlap here, the green box with the red box and the black box at around 3600. So, okay, so maybe this is going to be our target, somewhere between 3400 and 3600, this little green box. We have 3 levels of overlap, 50% retrace, somewhere probably 123.6% extension, resistance here at just south of 3700. So that looks good, but again, we need to start making higher highs and not lower lows. Okay, and lower highs. And we have, of course, this downtrend channel. So the setup is here, but no confirmation yet. Again, if we break below Monday's low, all bets are off, and we will continue to subdivide lower in further ugly fashion. Now here we have Luna. Luna is trying to break out above the 100 level. So far, it's not working very well yet, but this just shows you where we have a trend change. Once an instrument gets above its moving averages, all the moving averages are increasing, you get above the cloud, we are in a buy the dip environment. All the other cryptocurrencies are essentially in a sell the rip. That is a bear environment, you want to sell the bounce. In a bull environment, you want to buy the dip. Even here, this is closing prices, you can see nice 3 waves lower, corrective. This is all buy the dip environment. So now Luna has to prove itself, because if it can close above 100, we can target 125. I wrote 150, but sorry, my math was wrong. It's 100 from 75 plus 100. That makes it 125. It can target 125. No harm done yet. We haven't even reached it. But you can see we're struggling here with this. We might have some negative divergence developing, but for now, this still looks constructive, and it shows you the environment a crypto is in and how that then transpires to price action. Above the moving averages in the cloud, good things ahead. Below it, not good things ahead. So that's the difference. Luna remains the only bull in town. Let's go to Polygon or Matic, whatever you call it. Many different names. Also, this one is trying to rally, but we're still below all the moving averages. So this one needs to get back above 173 and especially 185 for me to turn bullish on it. Also, this one has all the ingredients in place. Look at the money flow pouring in compared to where we were before. So that is all positive signs, but price needs to react. It's so far not reacting. Divergence is only divergence till it's not. So we have to note it, and now we have to see if price is going to react to it. I don't see it so far. So this one can struggle, and all this divergence can just collapse. But this is for the bulls as good as it gets, honestly. I can't see it any better than this. Moving on to Solana. Solana is still holding the 79.80 level. It remains in a descending triangle, which is bearish, and a break below 80 targets 40. Clearly, we need to get back above 95. Also here, lots of positive divergence going on, all that good stuff, but we do need to see a strong reaction on price. And if we can break above this downtrend line, 95-ish, I would say, then the measured move is from 80 to 115 is 35. 35 plus 95 is 140. So then we should go back here to almost this 148, 150 level, because that is simply the minimum target we're looking for. Okay, so that is then that target. So if we get the breakout, of course, so the breakout is here, let's say 95. See, there you go. That's what we're going to look for on a breakout. And the breakdown is going to target that level. Very simple. Not much we can say just yet, other than we have all these positive divergences going on. But we need to see price react to it. Also, because the trend in Solana is still negative. Look at all these positive divergences, but bulls, you better finally start stepping it up, or the trend will be not in your favor, and all these divergences will just fall apart, and price is final arbiter, not the technical divergences. So I want to see it move above 100 from a technical perspective, which is quite similar to the 95 resistance level and the pattern price is in. All right, and then of course above 110, and then of course we have here the 200-day moving average at 153, which gets us very close to this 148 target zone. Again, the measured move is often the minimal move one should expect. So all those things align quite nicely. Let's go to Ripple. Ripple is also trying to move along. This is still this the wave count I have. As long as we're holding the February low, this can move higher as shown. We need to get back above 90 cents, right? We really need to get back above it. Until then, today's just more sideways price action that we've seen over the last 2 weeks. Why? Because the trend in Ripple is still a little ambiguous. It is trying to break above all the moving averages. Now it needs to get back above the cloud, which is at about 0.78, something like that. The cloud is right there. So it's trying. If we can get this going, that'd be fantastic. The day is still long, couple more hours, but it is really trying to get back above it. And we've seen from Luna what happens once we get above it. There's no guarantee, just like Bitcoin fell right back after it broke out. So this has to be monitored. If we get the breakout, that's great. Remember, for trading, it's better to react than to anticipate, because things can change quite rapidly. React to the change. Don't worry about the bottom. If you try to bottom fish, then you're anticipating. If you trend trade, you're reacting. Okay, so we're getting close. Setup is there. Now we need to see follow through over the next few days. Oh, and that's the NASDAQ 100 or something like that. So that's not actual for our presentation. Again, remember that in bear markets, upside disappoints and downside surprises. I've unfortunately not been able to update the summary slide yet, but as you can see, there are a lot of positive developments going on, and we need to see finally these breakouts happen. Okay, finally these breakouts need to happen. So a quick recap. Okay, if Avalanche can get over, I would say 90, we can target 110, 127.5. Below 70, can target 45-ish. Very simple. Binance Coin still stuck between a rock and a hard place. Over 430, targets 450. Below 360, targets 290. Very simple. Trend is still not all that great. Same for Bitcoin. It is trying to break out. Above 44,000, can target 54,000. Same here. Now we're over 40,500, so we can target 45,500. That's very close to 44,000 on the symmetry level. And if we then get above 45,000, we can target 50,000. Okay, so then we can stair step our way higher. Looks really good. Bigger picture wise, we might have now finally the ABC setup in place of this larger C wave of the B wave, targeting ideally around 55,000, 3 levels of Fib confluence. Ethereum needs to put the womp on it, so to say, because it's still in a technical downtrend. But if we can get a breakout, then I think we can target somewhere around, ideally, 3,400 and 3,600. That would be ideal. We need to clear about 2750 first. Luna is the bull market example. What happens if we break higher? Above 100, can target 125. Very simple. Matic, Maytech, Polygon, whatever you want to call it, still in a downtrend, has work to do. It needs to react to all its positive divergences. If it can finally break out, I think we can look at the $2.10 to potentially $2.40. Otherwise, we'll just continue to trickle lower. Solana, same deal here. It is in a triangular pattern. $80 is holding. If we don't hold it, we can go to $1.40. We break above 95, we can target 140 to 150. That is also in the charts from the trend chart. Lots of positive divergence, price need to react to it. Ripple's got work to do, needs to get above 80 cents, then it needs to get above 90 cents, and if it gets there, then we can target 120 to 140. The trend is trying to change on Ripple, so above 0.78, I would say, and it can be go time. And that's all I have for today. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being a valued premium member. Take care, trade safe, and I'll see you all on Friday. Bye.